Hi, welcome back to the Rural Project. So, back here at the land, as you saw in the video from yesterday, or yesterday's video, I managed to get the woodshed filled with firewood, and you will see that here. That was pretty cool. Gotta say, really happy with that. Filling that woodshed does a big thing for me. That is all of next year's bills covered for sort of owning this property. That's all the mortgage payments covered with the sale of all that firewood, so that's a good thing. So what I'm doing now, I'm heading back down the dam access road. I'm going to start the next project, which is pretty cool, and I've been looking forward to this for a while. So I have cleared all the land in this area, and now I'm onto the much steeper section of the dam access road. I've got a few trees that need to come down, some of those big ones, a couple that are still on the ground, and then once I've cleared all of those, we'll actually start tackling all that mess which is down in the gully. The way that I'm going to do this, I'm going to get the excavator sat on this pad. So this is the pad I'm talking about, so I need to get the water tank, get that moved out of the way. To move that out of the way, I do have irrigation pipes running from there, and they run all the way down to some small trees which are down in the gully. So what I'll be doing is I'll be running up and down the hill. They're all buried in grass right now, so I'll trace them down, coil them up, bring them back up the hill. We'll move the water tank out of the way, and then we will grab the excavator and we'll start working our way around this pad. I'm not sure how this comes out on video, but that is extremely steep. That inside curve there, inside of the bend, has been eroded away with water running down. So I need to fill that, because as you bring the car around, the left-hand wheels drop into that gully, and then it's not far off vertical climb out of there. So the plan is to get a lot of rock and dirt in this area and build that level up. So that as I come along here, the wheels are still pretty level and they're not dropping into that low area there. So then it's more of a level turn around this tight bend. So that'll allow me better car access. With that water tank gone, this area here is pretty level enough, but I'll get the excavator and I will excavate into that embankment a little bit, take some of that dirt and use that to fill the hole I've just talked about, and that will hopefully then give us a bigger area here as well. And then what I'll be able to do is use the winches, use the excavator, back the car up and down the hill, or actually drive the car down the hill, turn around and come back again. I'm going to have a fair bit more manoeuvrability to get access to all of these logs which are in the background. Right, I've got a fair bit of tidy up type jobs to do, so getting rid of this water tank, the hoses, etc, so I'll get all of that done and I'll bring you guys back later on. Well, that's taken a while. Obviously you've not seen, because I didn't record all that, but it's about 3 hours in total messing around doing bits and pieces. There was a stump halfway up the dam access road, which was sort of sticking out of the ground by about 2 or 3 inches, 3 to 4 inches I should say, and it's some of this drove me nuts every time I come up and down here, so I decided to try and dig that out. So I ended up going about 4 feet deep before I eventually got the small chainsaw out and just cut through the tap root and managed to get it out. It was absolutely solid, even though it's been there about 3 years. So I got that out, and then did a little bit of work just on the edge of the access road there, just knocking down. There's like a big lip on the side. Just knocked that down. I've greased the machine. So what I also did was, as I was filling up with fuel, I remembered that the hydraulic tank was a little bit loose, so I had to take some panels off and tighten that back up. Luckily it was just a bolt that had come loose, so tightened that back up. Greased the excavator, and we put the bucket on as well. Right, oh, and obviously move this move this IBC tote, move that out of the way. Right, so I'm now ready to make a start. As I said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and knock out this whole corner here, move that dirt over behind the bucket on the floor, and level out that corner somewhat. This should give me a little bit more room in this area as well to manoeuvre around. I'm not sure how well it shows on camera, but it is still sloping. It is still sloping down that way, so a little bit of dirt to the left of the camera there won't do any harm. It'll certainly help. I do remember when I had this access road built, and as you can see on the side there, we did hit rock. Try and get the sun out of the camera lens. Yeah, so we did hit rock, so all I'm going to do there is I'm just going to see what I can do. It might be enough just to knock out this small piece, but I'll make a start and we'll see how we go. That tree that you can see there is dead. It's in the way, so I might as well use the excavator just to push it out of the way, and then I won't have to keep trying to avoid it every time I swing around. So let's get that over the edge. Right, as you can see, we're working our way through this. I want to try and knock that corner off so we're much more space to try and swing the car around. I'll knock that corner off. I knew this was going to be rocky, like I said. I remember the previous guy that I got down, my old mate Rod. He had to get his jackhammer on this to break it, the rock breaker on his excavator. Hopefully I'm not going to have to do that. Hopefully I can just pick away at it. Okay, we pretty well done now. As you can see, this whole area sort of smoothed out. We've got a little bit extra space at the back here, a little bit more level than it was, certainly wider than it used to be. It used to be just to where the right hand track of the excavator is, so we've got all that extra width now. We've achieved filling the huge steep hole that was in there. It is obviously still steep from that point going up, but there's not a lot I can do about that apart from bringing in 20 tonne of fill, which is an option, but I'd rather not do that at the moment. I'm thinking that once this dries out and I track it in a bit more, this will be pretty good. What I do need to do is sort this out, so I'm thinking I'll bring the auger down and we'll continue the proper retaining wall all the way along there. Get some posts augered into the ground, set in properly. So the only way you know if the job's worked or not is by giving it a test. So I'm going to come down here now in the car. Yes, miles better, so much better. It definitely helped getting some extra width there, because I used to have to sort of get so far around with this car and then back up a bit and start again. So that's really helped. And yeah, I think that's made a massive difference. You definitely do need to put that retaining wall in though. It gets a bit scary when you're looking out the window and there's nothing holding the soil up. So right, let's get into the next job.